Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Girls Night Live. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so happy that you're here. We are coming to you live from Philadelphia, PA with Chef Jaz, owner and founder of Lifestyle Sessions. Welcome, Chef Jaz.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to let you guys in on all of the lovely food I prepare, and let's do this.
Awesome. You can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
Okay, so the first order of business, hi, like we already mentioned, I'm Chef Jaz. Welcome to my live. I'm going to go ahead and put some gloves on my hands. So today what we're going to be doing some low carb chicken, orange chicken. So why we call it the low carb orange chicken is basically because I try to take traditional items that we like or we enjoy, and I try to make them a healthier version. So I'm adding a lot of veggies. I'm adding a lot of, I'm using different types of flour to season my meats, and I don't like to use salt on my meat. I try to stay away from salt as much as possible. I will be using a little bit of season, as far as seasoning, a little bit of salt, pink salt. And so it's not as, it's not as bad as just regular traditional white salt. So I already have here prepared my chicken. I sliced it down. So we would say this is probably anywhere between 6 to 8 chicken breasts. This will probably feed around a family size. I would say anywhere between maybe 6 to 8. This is a nice size pan of chicken that I already sliced and I already have prepared for you today. So what I'm going to do, I put a little bit of seasoning on it. Like I said, I don't really like to get into a lot of seasonings. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I am diabetic. I've been since I was 13. So I try to really be conscious of what I put in my mouth and what I share and what I give to my family. However, we're going to move forward. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of Mrs. Dash seasoning to my meat, or I actually just put it in my hand because I don't like to over season my meat. I'll actually do a little bit of ground pepper, as you can see here. And we're going to just put a little ground pepper. We're also going to, I love smoked paprika. So I love spices. I'm very big on spices. So I try to always share that and add that into my foods. We have a little bit of smoked paprika. We're going to add a little bit of, I do like to use everything, the bagel seasoning. That's just my little specialty that I like to put on my meats. And just like a dash of salt. So we're going to get a little dash of salt and we're going to put that on our chicken. So we're going to start there. And right now over here on my stovetop, I have my oil, which is olive oil. You are able to use grapeseed oil, olive oil, avocado oil. Those are all better oils than our traditional vegetable oil or canola oil. You want to try to stay away from those types of oils as much as possible if you are and when you are going to fry your meals. So we're going to go ahead and get our hands dirty a little bit. We all love to get our hands dirty. So we're going to stir that up in there really, really well. And then what we're going to do here is I'm going to try not to make a mess. I definitely want to try to change my gloves, but I'm going to now move over to the side and grab my almond flour. So like I said, I like to try to use flours that are not whites because white generally has more calories. It's not as healthy. And so I try to steer away from that. You can also use quinoa flour. I just started like really trying to share different recipes and things with quinoa flour. So it's really good for you to try that as well. So I have my almond flour here and we have our almond flour put in a bowl. And I'm going to go ahead and start to roll. We're going to go ahead and roll our chicken in our almond flour. So like I said, we have a pan here. It's nice and hot. You want to wait till your pan is nice and hot. And then you want to start rolling your chicken bits and pieces. They're already cut. They're already seasoned and ready to go. You want to put them in the pan. I actually have a lid for my pan because just in case, you know, grease is hot, it pops. So you don't really want to get hurt while you're trying to prepare your meals. Also, what you can also add into your or your chicken or your seasonings or your flavorings or whatever you want to do. I have some garlic, some minced garlic here. So normally what I'll do, sometimes I'll add them to the top of my chicken before I put it inside of the pan, but most of the time I'll add this to my sauce. I love sauce, and like I said, I love spices in my food, so I try to be very mindful of that. We're also going to do some rice that I already prepared, which is brown rice, which is very easily prepared. What you want to do with brown rice is you can either cook it on the stove, you want to have like more like of a base, a vegetable base, or you can do like, I also have a rice cooker, so I will use it in a rice cooker. If you're, you know, if you're a busy mom or you're a busy person, you don't really have time to, you know, let rice sit on the stove for hours and hours at a time, or, you know, hours at a time, you kind of want to go ahead and use something that's going to make your time a lot faster by using like a rice cooker or something like that. But this is our brown rice, and because my name is Chef Jaz and I'm jazzy, I'm going to have to jazz my rice up a little bit. So I have like plenty of vegetables here. I have onions, I have green peppers, I have red peppers, I have lemon, I have all kinds of things. You know, food is fun, and the idea is to make food fun, but the idea is also to understand is that with the more good things you mix in your food, you don't really know that you're eating something that you think is just so healthy, and it's just not good for you. It's great for you. You know, the more things that you add to your food, it tricks the mind, and it makes you think that you have more on your plate than you really do. So that's these are the tricks of the trade that I learned. And the process of my weight loss journey, and my journey is tricking my mind to think that I have more than what I have, tricking my mind to think that something is, you know, greater than what it is, and also, you know, trying to find new ways to do things that I enjoy and find foods that I enjoy and make it a healthier version. So we're going to go here. I think my grease is pretty hot. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple pieces of chicken, and I'm going to go ahead and roll it. As you can see, I'm just rolling it here in my flour, and you kind of just want to pop that right in. Oh, it's not as hot as I would like it to be. So we're going to wait a few minutes, but in the process, I'll just roll a few. So I'll have that going here. And like I said, I kind of prepared a few things beforehand on the side, so to give you guys an idea of like what you can do or how you can add things to your rice. Like I said, I have some carrots here as well. And I like to try to add different things to my food because I love color. I love aesthetics. I'm very big on aesthetics. I love the idea of before someone tastes your food, they see your food. They see how well it looks, how well prepared it is. Even if you're just doing dinner, you know, if you wanted to do something, this is a good way to elevate a simple meal by adding all this color and all these great veggies to your food. So I'm going to go ahead and pop some more of these into the pan. Like I said, make sure your pan is nice and hot with your oil. And we're usually going to cook these for about anywhere between, I would say 5 to 6 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes maybe. And then we're going to move around from that point. And we'll take them out, we drain them, and then we're going to do the fun part, the sauce. So our sauce, I'll talk a little bit more about the sauce as we get more of these into the pan, because the sauce is pretty simple. I kind of spoke earlier and touched on a little bit that I am diabetic. I've been since I was 13 years old. So I've always tried to find ways to, you know, find things that I like in a sugar-free version. So normally when I make my orange chicken, I will use the sugar-free version of whatever I'm using. You don't have to use the sugar-free version if you choose not to. Again, because it's low carb and it's low calorie, you will want to use the sugar-free version because it's not adding additional calories or additional sugars to the meal. So that's the whole point of it, is to try to steer clear of the additional calories. So I do try to use low calorie or low carb additives to my food in any way, anything that I use. You know, sometimes I use other things, but it's very far in between. So I think at this point we have enough chicken in here. So we're going to move that to the side. I'm going to place my lid on top. And like I said, I'm just going to move this over and I'm going to let that cook for a few minutes and then we'll check back on there. So I'm going to move my chicken out the way. And yeah, I'm going to move this as well, the flour. And we're going to start with the sauce. Fun. So I have my clear bowl here, and I have me some Smucker's All Natural Sugar-Free Orange Marmalade. So this is what is the base of the sauce. This is going to give you the orange flavoring that you're looking for in terms of orange chicken. It's going to give you a little bit of a sweetness that you're looking for and add a little bit of crunch. What I like to do at the end of making my orange chicken, I put a little bit of sesame seeds after popping it in the oven for a few minutes. So this is definitely the base of the sauce. So I'm going to take one jar of this. It doesn't want to be my friend today, so we're going to take a jar and we're going to get it all in there while our chicken is cooking. I like to try to be fast and show you guys that, you know, a lot of these meals that I prepare and a lot of things that I do, I try to do. I'm a busy mom, I'm a busy woman. And so I try to do things quickly, and I try to do them in a way where I know my family's going to enjoy them. But I don't like to spend a lot of time on cooking. I don't have a lot of time to spend. So of course, trying to cook healthy meals is always like a catch-22 for a lot of us. So I'm just showing you different ways of doing healthy meals on a weeknight when you got off work or when you're busy. That can be done really quickly. So we have our base here, which is our marmalade. We're going to now take the minced garlic like we talked about before. We're going to just pour that right on in here with the marmalade. I also like, because it's more of an Asian inspired dish, I like to use, you can use olive oil. There are different oils, avocado oil and things like that you can use as your base. But I'm going to go ahead and use some sesame seed oil that I purchased from Whole Foods. Not a lot of it, but while I'm in the process of doing that, I have a pot here that I'm going to actually put some sesame seed oil in as well. And I'm going to put it on my back burner. And I'm going to now heat up some of my veggies that I have here. Because like I said, I want to show you guys what it looks like completely done. So I'm going to heat that up for a few seconds, and then I'll just start throwing my veggies in. So I already added my minced garlic and my marmalade. So I'm going to add a little pepper, black pepper. You're going to add in a little bit of smoked paprika. Love paprika. Got to add in the paprika. I mean, it's great. So I also wanted to add in, a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. You can use I was trying to find a sugar-free version of it. I couldn't find a sugar-free version, of course. I'm going crazy. So I'm going to use what I have, and I'm going to use some Sweet Baby Ray's. You just want to put a couple, to each his own, but I don't use, of course, because it's not sugar-free, it has to be just a small amount. We have some Thai chili sauce here, which is sugar-free. As you can see, the name is sugar-free. So like I said, I always try to find sugar-free versions of anything that I buy because of the diabetes. And I like to stay on track. And that's important for me to stay on track with my insulin and my sugars and things of that nature. So we're going to just do a couple little dabs of that in there.
Chef Jaz.
You're also going to take a little bit of parsley. You can use fresh parsley. You can do bottled parsley, however you choose. We're going to dump that in there too. And then we're just going to use just a pinch of salt. And now that our
Chef
base
Jaz,
over here is getting,
we do have a couple questions coming in.
Okay.
You're getting lots of love. Kathy is wondering about no egg wash before flour. She said, sorry if you already mentioned this.
No egg wash.
She says, it seems like the almond flour sticks well compared to the usual breadcrumbs.
Yes, and so here's my take on almond flour. Almond flour is a great substitute to traditional flour. It depends on what type of poultry or meat base you're using. So I find that when I'm frying a fish or if I'm doing something of that nature, it doesn't stick as well without a base like an egg wash. But if I'm doing like a chicken or poultry or something like that, like a chicken breast, because it's wet, it sticks fine. So once you roll it into your almond flour, you shouldn't have any problems. I mean, you're going to have like some remnants in your pan or whatever the case may be, but it definitely fries up pretty well. So I'll actually give you guys an idea. It's not, I like mine a little bit crispier, but they are definitely nice and golden brown. So I'm going to just leave them there for a couple seconds and then we can move ahead. Do we have any more questions?
Yes. Our friend from Instagram Live wants to know what temperature you have your oil on there.
What temperature it might, well, I didn't regulate my temperature because really I have a gas stove. So normally I try not to just let it burn. So I don't put it in like high heat, maybe medium heat.
Medium.
Before you add the chicken into the pan.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. More questions?
I think we're okay for now. Someone asked about the sauce, but I will just repost the sauce recipe.
Okay. So we're going to move along, guys. Thank you. If I'm moving too fast, please ask questions. I know we'll be sharing this afterwards, but you're welcome to ask me questions as we move along. So as you are aware, I already put my sesame seed oil into a pot, just a little bit. I'm going to take some purple onions here. I'm going to dump those in there. I love color. I'm going to take some red peppers and add those in there as well. I'm going to take some white onions because I love food and I love veggies and I love all things healthy, and dump that in there as well. I'm going to take some green onions or some green peppers, excuse me. I'm going to dump that in there. So we're going to just going to take a little spoon. I'll use a spoon. And I'm just going to stir this up a little bit and allow that to kind of simmer. You can also add in some like fresh garlic to your veggies. You can add whatever kind of things you want to add to the base of your veggies. I'm not going to add anything to mine, excuse me, because I already feel as though I have enough seasoning within the sauce and within the chicken. So I don't feel as though I need any more salt. Like I said, I'm very big on the salt content. So I really try to, limit that as much as possible. Moving on, I actually did have some shredded carrots. I'm going to go ahead and dump those in there as well. And as you can see, this is all just items that I had in my house that I just cut down. Most of the time we have things or veggies and things like that that's on their way out the door, is getting ready to go bad. So in order to let them go bad, we could just do some fun things with them. And why not just throw them into different things that we're cooking? Okay, so I think our chicken is ready to come out. And like I said, I just did a few pieces for you guys so you guys can see what I've done. And like I said, it's super easy. As you can see, this is just with almond flour. This is not with any egg wash. Why add in the extra calories? I mean, I know eggs are protein, but why add in the extra calories if you don't have to? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to just turn that off. We're going to, I added a paper towel because the paper towel takes away some of the oil. You can soak up some of the oil from the paper towel. So we're going to continue. I'm going to change this around and just move this pot to the back and change this to the front so we can get this cooked a little faster. So then back to the sauce. So far we have Sweet Baby Ray's sugar-free Thai sauce. We have paprika. We have a little bit of salt. We have a little bit of pepper. We have our orange marmalade sugar-free version. There, like I said, there are a lot of types of versions of the orange marmalade. So if you're not sugar-free like myself, or you decided that you wanted to try a different version of it, that will work as well. So we're going to add in a little bit of, I have a sweet citrus basil seasoning that I love, made by Laurie's, that I use. It doesn't have a lot of sodium, so I like to use it, especially with my chickens and things like that. So I'm going to add a little bit to that. And then I think we're ready to stir it up, ladies. And so I'm just going to stir my sauce. And as you can see, the color changes from more like of a bright orange to I would say like a dirty orange or like a brown. So just like normally when you go into like a store and you're buying orange chicken, it doesn't have like a very bright orange look to it. So you don't want, the idea for me is that adding the barbecue sauce and the sweet Thai chili sauce adds not just flavor, but it also adds the color. So it makes it look better. Like, again, aesthetics is, I'm very big on that. So I always try to talk about that, and I always try to share aesthetics. So what we want to do, me personally, I would just dump all of my chicken into this bowl. And just kind of like mix it up. You can use your hand, you can use a spoon, you can do it however you want to. And then what I would normally do is I would then take the whole pan or the whole bowl, transfer into another bowl, and go ahead and pop it in my oven for a few minutes. I feel like doing that, it allows the sauce to soak into the chicken or soak into the meat. So it just tastes better. It just makes everything taste a little bit better, like more of a pop. But if you don't have time, like I know we're on borrowed time today, I'm not going to do that, but I'm just going to show you what I normally do and how everything looks in the end. So we are doing, do we have any more questions? I wanted to check in with you guys. How's everything going, guys?
I think we're okay on questions for now. I do have a question though. If you
Sure.
don't have time to pop the chicken back in the oven, would it be okay just to do a light saute in a skillet with the sauce? Like, would that?
Yes. And so what I was going to say is you can do that as well. I just find that normally when you do that, it kind of burns the sauce, because the sauce is like more like of a sweet base type of sauce. It burns very quickly. So just be very mindful of that when you are adding it to a pan. You have to like basically really be on top of it. I just feel like adding it to a pan and just kind of popping it in the oven at 350 degrees for like 5 to 7 minutes is not going to, it's going to definitely, like I said, add in the moisture, bring in the flavor into the meat, and it's not going to allow a lot of burning or spillage or anything like that of the sauce. So we're going to stir our veggies. Now, everybody has a consistency that they enjoy their veggies. Me personally, when I'm adding veggies to my rice and things like that, I like to have a little bit of crunch in terms of the type of meal. It depends on the type of meal that you're making. And because I feel as though I'm eating more like an Asian inspired meal, I like a little bit of crunch to my veggies. So I don't try to cook them so long that they cook down and they're very soft. I like soft veggies for like different types of poultry in terms of like steak and things like that. But when I'm cooking like my chicken for this meal in particular, I like for my veggies to have a little bit of crunch to them. So I'm going to just saute these for a few more seconds. And again, inside here, we have purple onion, we have white onion, we have some shredded carrots, we have some red pepper, some green pepper. And I did not add any seasonings to my base or to my veggies, because like I said, I feel as though there's enough seasoning for me and my life, particularly already on the sauce and in the meat. So while we're sitting here waiting for that, I'm going to just go ahead and grab this bowl. So I have these really cute bowls. On top of like showing you this recipe, I wanted to like I said, I always talk about being very big on aesthetics and very big on how something looks. A lot of times we don't know how something tastes until we taste it. But when you're looking at it, if it looks amazing and if the presentation is great, you're going to want to try it at least. And especially for the moms who have picky kids who doesn't like to eat like veggies and stuff like that, I always try to make things look well, and I always try to share that because it's important. It's like really playing a mind play on the mind to trick a child to think like, oh, this is this. It might be good if it, just because it has veggies in it, they may not think that it's not great. They may love it because the way it looks. So I have these really cute bowls here. And what I like to do, like I said, I'm going to give you two setups here in terms of how you can like deliver this meal or how you can elevate it in some ways. Like I said, this is an easy, quick weeknight meal, but there's a lot of ways to elevate it in terms of like a dinner party or whatever you're trying to do, and to do something creative, or even just to try something new, being healthy and trying to transition to a healthier lifestyle. It can get boring and stuff like that. So it's always important to, try different things, and not just in food, but also how we set up our plates or how we set up our food in general. So I'm going to take a little bit of kale here. I'm going to set this here, and I'm just going to break it in half. And I'm just going to set it like at the side of the bowl. I have my rice here. I'm going to turn my pot off because I think that my veggies are good to go. And what I'm going to also do, I'm going to take my rice. Like I said, I have some brown rice here. I'm going to add this to my pot. It's already been cooked, brown rice. Like I said, you can do a lot of different things with that. You can cook it in a pan, you can cook it in a pot, you can make it in a rice cooker, whatever makes your life easier. That's what I suggest. This is part of my 30-minute meal series. So again, I don't like to try to go over that time frame because it really doesn't take that long at all to make. So I have my rice. I think it looks really well. I'm going to take a nice spoonful of my rice, and I'm just going to add it into the base of my bowl. So we have that. That looks gorgeous. I mean, by the way, I mean, you can't deny that. So we're going to take our chicken here, and we're going to actually just throw it in here. And we're going to stir it up. Nice and well. And again, once you've stirred your chicken into the sauce, you are able to either, like I said, normally what I would do is I would actually add it back into a different pan and put it in the oven, a roasting pan or something like that, so that it can cook down, or even an aluminum pan. You are able to throw it into a skillet if you want to like sear it for a second, just to get the like soak in the moisture of the seasoning into the meat. But right now I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like all prepared today. I'm going to add a couple pieces here on the top of my bowl. And as you can see, this is a quick and easy meal. Like I said, it's elevated. Your children or your loved ones will probably definitely enjoy this. It's an easy weeknight meal. It's nothing that's going to take, it takes the guesswork out of it. Like I said, this is part of my 30-minute meal series. I'm going to also take a little bit of everything bagel seasoning. You are able to use, I mean, sesame seeds, if that's what you choose, because it's an Asian inspired dish. I like the everything bagel seasoning because it gives me a little bit of mix of different types of seasoning on top. But then I'm going to show you guys. This looks amazing. So we have our, we have it in our bowl. So our base is the rice. We have our orange chicken on top. And again, this is low carb. You have your brown rice, which is definitely a better alternative than white rice. You can use quinoa. I always try to share different measures of different things that you can use. You can use quinoa. You can use, I even want to, you know, for my vegan community, instead of chicken, you can use mushrooms. You can use small mushrooms, and you could do the same type of method. I do believe that because you probably will want to buy the type of mushrooms that come in a bottle or like a can because they're wet. Again, when you don't want to use an egg wash or egg type of substitute and you're using almond flour, you wanted something to be wet. And because of course with vegan you don't eat eggs, so you know you definitely want to use something that has a base that is wet. So this is one setup, like I said, that you can use in terms of like elevating this meal and having friends over, or just trying something new just to share. And so I'm also going to show you guys one more way that I also do it, and which is like in a boat. And so again, I'm very big on color. I'm very big on the way things are, shown to me or given to me. So I always try to share that as much as possible. So I'm going to just take a traditional plate, a dinner plate, and I'm going to take some rice. We're going to add it to the side of our plate. And we're also going to add some of our orange chicken right on top. And again, like I said, these are just ways to elevate a dish, to, you know, serve something. This is pretty much inexpensive. You know, you buy a box of brown rice, will cost you a few bucks, a couple chicken breasts and some veggies. I mean, this dish will probably cost you at best $20, but it'll, like I said, it definitely will feed a family of 6 to 8, you know, depending on how big your family size is. We add a little bit of everything, bagel seasoning, and there you have it. You have a wonderful dinner that was made in 30 minutes or less. Easy, healthy, things that your family can enjoy. You can enjoy them with your friends. You can enjoy them with your coworkers. And I'm excited to hear your feedback. So yeah, I'm waiting to hear all of the questions.
That looks amazing. And you're so right about the color. I mean, that looks so much better than any takeout. And it is really orange.
And you made it yourself. How about that? You know, and I always tell people, if I can do it, you can do it. You know, like I said, I'm a busy mom, I'm a busy wife, and I have the world on my shoulders all the time. And I've committed myself to my journey of weight loss, and I was able to lose 75 pounds. You know, it's the hardest part is not losing the weight, it's keeping it off. And it's definitely a journey, and it's definitely been a struggle in terms of, you know, finding things that I enjoy, but that are healthy. And I always try to share with people, healthy doesn't need to be boring. Healthy doesn't need to be expensive. You know, healthy doesn't need to be not fun. You know, this is something that I can make with my daughter, and her and her friends would enjoy that. You know, this is something that you, like I said, you can elevate and you can bring to a dinner party, or you can have a dinner party at your home or something like that, where it's not going to break the bank. And like just adding simple things like kale and veggies to your already simple meal is just going to elevate it in some way. So thank you so much for thank you guys for being here. Thank you for having me, and thank you for loving what I'm doing. And I hope that, you know, you guys follow me and, you know, learn more about my journey and learn more about my recipes. Like I said, this is a part of my 30-minute meal series. So I'm excited for all the questions.
Well, we've got lots of complimentary comments. People want the recipe, and they're saying beautiful presentation. Lynn says, looks wonderful. I wish I was coming to dinner.
Yes, I'd love to have you.
Jessica wants to know if you've ever tried cooking the chicken in an air fryer.
And so here's my take on the air fryer. You can cook the chicken in the air fryer because it's healthy. You don't want to add additional calories or anything like that. The only thing with the air fryer is, I find that somebody asked me earlier about the almond flour. I feel as though you would need to use a little bit of egg wash if you're going to do it in the air fryer, because it's definitely going to stick to an air fryer, because it has no base. Again, you need something that's wet, something that's going to keep that flour to that chicken. So you can do it in an air fryer. I would suggest, if you're going to do it in an air fryer, just do seasoned chicken, slice it down, leave it wet, and don't do any flour, you know, because the air fryer is definitely going to still give you that fried type of taste and that feel, just without the flour.
Awesome. And then Kathy's wondering about some of the seasonings you were using, the citrus basil seasoning. Do you have a brand for that?
Yes, it's Lawry's brand. I'll have it up there. It's Lawry's brand, and like I said, it's adobo. It's citrus, and I forgot to put my lemons. I mean, what am I doing? You can add like lemons, like I said, just to give it that, you know, beautiful look. Like I said, I'm all about style and jazziness. I'm Chef Jaz, so it wouldn't be right if I wasn't jazzy. And you know, just adding, like I said, adding different fruits. You can add lime, you can add anything to the plate to elevate it a little more, and just give it that color. You know, color makes everything better.
I totally agree. And then I'm just curious, I'm going to make this. So what was the brand of orange marmalade that you were using? Do you have like a favorite?
So the brand is Smuckers. So you can buy it in a sugar-free version. They do have, they have a natural version. This is what I'm using here. They have sugar-free, and they also have just like their regular versions of it. Of course, because I'm low carb and I'm low cal, I try to use either like a sugar-free version. I try not to use anything that's like, you know, that has like added sugar. I try to steer clear from that. You can also add into your sauce just that we kind of didn't touch on today. Again, because I always practice sugar-free options. You can add in a little bit if you didn't want to do the barbecue sauce or the honey Thai sauce. You can definitely do the barbecue sauce. I'm not going to take the barbecue sauce away, but if you didn't want to do the sweet chili Thai sauce, you can also add in a little bit of brown sugar. Just a little bit, just a touch of brown sugar. Again, you know, orange chicken has a sweet base. The orange is a little bit tart. So you want to add the sweet and the tartness to make the orange chicken pop and give it that. I feel like it brings out the chicken more, like the lemon and the garlic and all the things that you use. It brings more of a pop to your already well-seasoned dish.
That's awesome. If anyone has any questions for Chef Jaz, please put them in the chat and we'll let her know. Otherwise, this was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.